So this all started when I saw this image on Google. Now, this image links to an article about the order you should fight Terraria bosses in. But I noticed that in this image, Duke Fishron is placed after Golem instead of before the mech bosses. So I clicked on the article, and sure enough, Duke Fishron is recommended to be fought after Golem. But that's just one article. There's no way people actually think that's when you're supposed to fight Duke Fishron. However, as I started looking into it, I found more articles, Reddit posts, heck, even the Terraria wiki and my own viewers saying that Duke Fishron should be fought after Golem. So this left me conflicted. On one hand, the entire community seems to agree that Duke Fishron is a post-Golem boss. But on the other hand, there's no way that my opinion could be wrong. So I guess the only option I have is to make an entire video defending my position on the matter. First things first. I think we can all agree that Duke Fishron is some of the best drops out of any boss in Terraria, with accessories like the fishron wings and weapons like the Razorblade Typhoon, Tsunami, Flare-On, and Tempest Staff. There's pretty much something in there for every type of player, and this becomes especially important when we're looking at the mechanical bosses. For starters, most of these bosses fly through the air, meaning you're gonna need some good wings or dodging accessories anyways. Secondly, you have to beat the mech bosses before day, otherwise they'll despawn, so high damage weapons are very useful. Specifically, the Razorblade Typhoon, Flare-On, Bubble Gun, and Tsunami are absurdly good for shredding the destroyer. So that's not really saying all that much. These high damage weapons are also really good for speeding up the Skeletron Prime fight, which I always thought took a little bit too long. Now, one counter argument I've seen to this is that these items make the fights too easy, and while I don't entirely agree, I fail to see what's stopping somebody from just using a different weapon for boss fights. On the topic of counter arguments, I've seen a lot of people saying that Duke Fishron is too hard to fight pre-mech, and to that I'd like to say, skill issue. In all seriousness, Duke Fishron is a reasonably manageable fight, as long as you come prepared. There are plenty of good accessories for dodging his attack, like the Shield of Cthulhu, Frog Gear, and Terra Spark boots, and pairing those with a good arena can really go a long way towards making this battle easier. Alternatively, you could do something like taking out the Destroyer beforehand and get hollowed gear and weapons to take on Duke Fishron. Speaking of boss difficulty, I actually think that putting off fighting Duke Fishron ruins the fight. This is mainly due to Golem and Plantera's weapon drops being extremely powerful, which, when paired with new armors, absolutely shreds Duke Fishron without a challenge. Anyways, that's all I really have to say. If y'all disagree with me, feel free to comment what you think. I don't know, subscribe or whatever. Alright, bye.